Ryan, regardless of the opt-outs, regardless of people saying they're exhibitions and meaningless, I love the bowl games,
Yes.
and putting Oregon and its high caliber offense on a field with Drake May and North Carolina's high caliber offense in San Diego at an iconic bowl game that has produced so many historic and memorable games and classic high scoring affairs throughout the years. Give me this all day. Oregon, North Carolina. I know the Ducks are a huge favorite, which didn't surprise me because before I looked at the line, I thought Oregon's significantly better than North Carolina, but it could still be a fun matchup.
Oh, yeah. And I think the Pac-12 was better than the ACC this year as well. I think top to bottom, the Pac-12 was far markedly improved. And no, I love this matchup. You know, UNC had a really good year this year. Didn't end well with those 3 losses at the end of the year. Didn't look good. They've had a bunch of guys transfer. But yeah, no, Drake May is just a really, really talented guy. I mean, leads the team in rushing yards. I mean, he has damn near 50 more attempts rushing than the starting running back. I mean, this is a guy that's really, really amazing. I mean, you know, I watched a lot of North Carolina this year for whatever reason, you know, games being on early before we go to the Duck game or whatever the case may be. I really thought they were halfway through the year. I thought that they were a team that was really going to contend for that ACC championship because we didn't really know what Clemson was bringing, right? And so I was really interested with them. Late in the bowl selection, there was kind of the thought of maybe it's Notre Dame. It's Notre Dame or North Carolina. I think obviously Notre Dame brings a lot of cachet, you know, Newt Rockne, Four Horsemen, all that sort of stuff. But they're a long time past that. And this North Carolina team this year is pretty exciting. Drake May being a freshman, Bo Nix staying. I think that's a great matchup for quarterbacks. You know, that's what the media loves to hang on. You know, when they're like Mahomes versus Brady, you know, it's like, how about the other 53 guys on each team, you know? But, you know, just for storylines, we love San Diego, obviously. West Coast Bowls always preferable for us. You know, the way the bowl breaks down right now, and I'm a guy who goes to the bowl. I'll be there with my son. My family's traveled to the bowl games every year for all these years. It's really fun to go to these games and go with your flock and go with your group. But the college football playoff has slowly but surely killed off the energy of these bowls. We know this. And so it's hard to convince a lot of people to really get pumped up for some of these quote unquote lower tier bowls. Now, you're right. Historically, the Holiday Bowl was awesome. It was the second bowl in the Pac-10. If you went to the Rose Bowl, that was obviously the dream for everybody. But then if you didn't go to the Rose Bowl, you went to the Holiday. Perfect consolation prize. San Diego, big stadium, all that sort of stuff. This year, it's in Petco. Which is going to be very interesting. The only other game we've ever seen in the baseball stadium was against Wake Forest in the Seattle Bowl, which was horrible back in the day. But you know, I think Petco, it'll be fun down there in the gas lamp area. You know, there's a lot of kind of cool things going on in San Diego. So hopefully North Carolina folks will rally out here and get out here a little bit, but it should be predominantly Oregon fan base for sure. It should be a party for us, most definitely. I think Oregon should win. I think North Carolina has been more impacted by their transfers right now than Oregon. I know for a fact that they've lost some of their guys. One of the guys that is already transferred out was Storm Duck, and he was the guy that we really liked that name, obviously, for us. But he leads their team in interception. So, I mean, I think the other corner's out as well. So it's going to be an interesting game. But you're right. Holiday Bowl is traditionally a classic bowl, not of the top tier, but definitely out of that. There's been some great quality games. The timing of the Holiday Bowls also changed. It used to be that New Year's Eve game, and then now it's pushed back a little bit. Now it's the 28th. So it's on a Wednesday. It's in the middle of the week or something. But for us, it'll be perfect timing. And we're also really glad we didn't go to the Vegas Bowl. We were kind of neck and neck with the Beavs on who would go to what bowl. And that Vegas Bowl, you know, is this next Saturday, right in the middle of recruiting window, really puts kind of a different wrinkle in that. It kind of impacts that recruiting class a little bit more than the other bowls. So we're kind of glad we avoided that. Be able to go to regular schedule, have the kids go away for holiday, come back, get to practice, get to the bowl, have some fun down there, and then on to the next one, which is going to be, I think, a really fun year. Dan Lanning had one full year, did a great job outside of that Georgia game, outside of those 2 rivalry games. The 2 rivalry games you lost, you were very close. You know, big picture, you know, it could have gone either way. Obviously, the Georgia game, complete blowout. and not even near where you want to be. So I think there were a lot of questions that came out of that first week. They were answered throughout the year. This year, with another good recruiting class, have a really good, strong spring practice, have a good spring game, get all the energy back going live. And then next year, you've got a fairly decent schedule. You go to Lubbock, Texas Tech, but that's your only real challenge in the non-conference. And you could be in a situation next year where they're talking about the Ducks halfway through the year, just like they were this year, as a possible college football playoff participant.
Yeah, I'm sold. Sign me up. Holiday Bowl. I love it. Oregon, North Carolina. I love the bowl games, and especially two Power 5 teams that otherwise are never going to play. I love it.